The idea is that, the devil comes from those who he finds to be a threat to him. Kind of to me, strikes me as kind of a flattering concept. I've heard that a few times. The devil's coming for those who are a serious threat to his empire. I would say that is true. The devil does come for those who are preaching, and when I say the devil comes for you, the schemes of the devil are very sneaky. Temptations is how the devil comes for you. Temptations to do things that are against God. That's how the devil comes for you. We're not talking about exorcist style possessions. The devil comes for you with temptations. And you know how many times have we seen them preachers out on the news getting arrested or just getting publicly shamed and making the whole church look bad? Yeah, that's the devil coming from those who are trying to oppose his kingdom. But the Bible has told us how to fight these things. Run from your temptations. Don't play with them. Don't mess around with them, because these temptations that these people are getting publicly humiliated over started as something small. So I'm going to tell you all the way that most commonly the devil really does work, and it's nothing to do with you being a great powerful opposer of his kingdom. The devil is a bully. The devil wants nothing but to see God's loved creations over them fall. The devil comes for children. The devil comes for all of us. But the devil doesn't come for us whenever we're incredibly strong. The devil comes for us whenever we're weak. The devil comes for us, say I've been on fire for God and I've been doing great. I've been turning from my temptations, my passions, turning from them. And all of a sudden, you know what? I'm really tired. I've had a long week at work. Something's bugging me. Me and my wife had an argument. And that's when the devil's going to come for you. When the devil can convince you to do a thing at your worst, at your weakest, he's convinced you to do that. Now you have accepted that little seed, that little mustard seed of temptation. It may be easier for you to do that mustard seed of temptation whenever you're not down. Because that mustard seed of temptation gets in you, it corrupts your mind. It does. And turning from it for a bit will restore you and talking to your Heavenly Father. But the devil's going to come for you when you're at your weakest. Look at that. I know that because I see it myself. I see myself get the most weird temptations whenever I'm just incredibly tired. I'm just physically not at 100%, not even close. That's whenever I get the most weird temptations. All right, early, like right before I fall asleep, stuff like that. And that's not just to me, because look at when the devil tempted Jesus. It wasn't whenever he was on that mountaintop preaching to thousands, feeding the 5,000 with bread and a couple of fish. It wasn't whenever he was at his peak. The devil tempted Jesus whenever Jesus had fasted for 40 days. He was as weak as he had ever been in his whole life. He's physically weak. And mentally, mental follows the physical quite a bit. So he was mentally and physically weak. That's when the devil came to him and tried to throw him off of his plan. And he was no match for Jesus. Jesus came at him with truth that is of the Bible. You got to know that truth in that Bible, people. The truth in the Bible, it tells us how to deal with the enemy. It tells us to run from the enemy, run from your temptations. Don't play around with them. So God has told us the truth. God has told us the truth. God has told us how to handle the schemes of the enemy. God has told us that the enemy was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. And when he lies, he speaks his native tongue. So the enemy lies all the time. He doesn't care if you have fun. He wants to separate you from your Heavenly Father. That's his primary goal. And he doesn't care if you're separating pastors or family men or 5-year-old kids. If he can corrupt the children, we might blame God for the bad things that happen to kids, but the bad things that happen to kids are because other people who are listening to the enemy are corrupting further generations. It's because of the enemy. It ain't because of God. But God has given us the truth. Why does he allow it to happen? God works out for the best thing. God works out for the good of all his people. It's a complicated question. I believe that God works everything out for the good of his people. I don't know exactly why. I don't know exactly why there's answers, that it's a complicated question. There's some complicated questions out there, but if you got that complicated question, seek God for that answer. Don't seek the enemy. Don't seek lies. Seek the Bible for that answer, because God will provide you with the answer. If you seek God, you will find God. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of y'all's day. Talk to your Heavenly Father a couple of times. Stay in His will. Stay with doing the things He would have you do. See if it doesn't change your life. Thank you, guys.